everyone. I am so glad that you are here today. Let me introduce myself. My name is Sally McFadden. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in the United States, and I blog at thepolkadotlife.com. Today we are going to use the Driving By stamp set, and that is one of the free stamp sets that is featured in the Sale-A-Bration catalog. What is Sale-A-Bration, you may ask? That is a gift with purchase promotion that Stampin' Up! Puts on twice per year, and we are currently in the January-February 2022 gift promotion period. If you would like to look at that catalog or any of our current catalogs, head on over to thepolkadotlife.com and you will find a place to see one there. I would invite you to hit that red subscribe button below to join our family of stampers. We have a lot of fun together. This set we're using today is super basic and simple, but it opens the door to using some different techniques with it, and we will talk about those as we make our project today. So let's flip the camera down and get started. You will find the Driving By stamp set in the Sale-A-Bration catalog. Sale-A-Bration runs through February the 28th, 2022. And on page 7 is where the Driving By stamp set is. It has 3 different vehicles. The shapes are just outlines, and that opens up the possibility of several techniques. We can watercolor it. We could have done that. We didn't do that today. Or use watercolor pencils. We could have used a blender pen and our ink pads. We could use our Stampin Blend Markers, which I did on my other cards. We could have used our Stampin Write Markers. We can paper piece, which is what we are going to do today a little bit, not the whole thing, but just a little bit. And there can be different styles of cards. Here we have like a warm tropical kind of card. Here's a birthday party card. Here's just a thank you card that's somewhat generic. And the card that we are going to make today, I think is a great thank you card for a shower or a birthday gift, something like that, that's a little more stepped up. The Driving By stamp set can be yours for free with a $50 purchase, and that's $50 before tax and shipping. But this could be one of your selections. And I think this has been one of our most popular choices as well. I have seen so many cute cards done with this set. To start with today, we have basic white cardstock, we have our bug stamp with the gifts on top, and some mint macaron ink. And so I am just going to go up here to the top portion. It doesn't have to be perfectly center, but I want it in that center area is where I want to start. And we are just going to come down and get as many full or foolish images of these cards, of these cars on our card. And they don't have to line up exactly. I am going to slip this down here to fill this one in because I tend to do that one crooked. And I did a little bit that way, but not as bad as I had been doing it when I was practicing. So we have those. If you want to sneak a little bumper or a little piece of a car to fill in some of the white space along the edge, now is a good time to do that. And so there, we have our main card stamped. Going to lay this over here to the side for a minute. We're just going to open our Simply Chamois, give our stamp a nice little clean. And we're going to bring in the Memento Black. And we have some Designer Series paper. This is from the Hand Pen collection. It has some mint macaron pieces in there. There's some florals, there's some stripes, lots of different choices. That is called paper piecing, when you're going to cut this image out and then add it to your card. And that's what we're going to do today. I already have one cut out. And we're just going to take a quick minute then and cut this card. I am leaving a little bit around the edges. You do your preference. If you like to cut on that black line, you go right ahead and do that. It's kind of weird here around the top of the card, cutting around the gifts. And remember, move your paper is easier, and I know I forget sometimes, but it does make it easier to turn the paper and hold your scissors still. You'll get a better edge. And you can always go back and trim a little bit if you want to. Like I might just trim a little bit off around this tire. Make it a little more round. So super cute. And I think I want to trim up this area a little bit. I see I still have a little bit, a trace of that black line from the gifts. So I want to cut that off. These snips, I think, are in back order again, but you need to add these to your next order. If you are just getting started, this is one of the best investments that you can make in your craft room. I think they're like $10. They are great for cutting tags off your clothes and all kind of things. But we are just going to come in here and we are going to pop these little cutouts into a few places on our card. I think this one and that one maybe. Oh, I could do that one too. But I have to put a greeting on here somewhere. So just kind of wherever you would like it to be. I'm just going to take a little bit of my liquid glue. Now this isn't a great example, but like if you wanted a floral car, do the floral side. There are so many possibilities. I just kind of wanted to stick with the Mint Macaron and not bring any other colors into the mix. So that's why I chose to do this. But isn't it so cute? It just brings a little bit of personality. And these cars, of course, have been known for decades to bring a little personality to the driver. And see, if you cut a little bit wider, maybe I stamped that crooked or something, it gives you a little bit of room to kind of correct that if you need to. Let's add the next layer. This is just a 1/4 of an inch, or sorry, an 1/8 of an inch bigger. And all of these measurements will be over at my blog, and there's a link in the description box below. And so you don't have to worry at all about figuring out all these measurements, although these ones are pretty, like I say, these are pretty straightforward. It's a good card if you're a beginner to get used to working with different layers and what sizes maybe are good to use. We also have this one. And I'm not going to just put them all in order. I'm going to put this one down first. Make sure that that is the side I want to be the front of my card. I'm just going to pop this on here. when you add some layers, it just adds a little depth and definition to your card. So even if I put this straight down, it breaks this up and it highlights this area. And it doesn't show just all of a bunch of color cardstock if that isn't what you love. But I think what I want to do is bring in some dimensionals. And I want to put some dimensionals on this mint macaron layer. And I do love my dimensionals. I don't like saggy middles. Now I could also just get a big foam sheet and put under here too, but I don't need it to be that secure. Fun. And sometimes you can miss one, but this is just a fast way. I'm just going to take it and put it right in the trash. Every once in a while you have to go back and get one, just check them and make sure they all come loose, but just make kind of like a little check mark. Doesn't usually hold this many at one time on the pick. Gets kind of full. But these are very sticky. And because of that, and I want to have a little wiggle room, since the straightness part will show a little bit more with these straight layers, I'm just going to put some of this glue on the dimensional. Doesn't need it as far as being strong enough to hold, because you saw that's not the case. I need to kind of take that stick out for a few minutes and then have it dry back in. Because these are kind of close with those 1/8 of an inch increments, you do just want to make sure to have a little bit of wiggle room to get them where you want them. Oh, this is just shaping up to be so fun. So nice. I went ahead off camera and had prepared this in advance, the aw thanks, and I am going to just kind of think about where I might want this to go. Thinking somewhere-ish. And maybe I should have put this down and cut it before I adhered that down. I'm thinking that's kind of a good area, like maybe across this part. And this is a mint macaron velvet ribbon. It is so nice. Now you can't really, it's hard to tie it. It would be hard to tie a bow with it. I will say that. Since it's a little heavier, I do want to put some tear and tape down. I'm going to pull off this backing and even lay another little piece of it. I want it to go clear to the end. I kind of sold it short there a little bit. And I kind of just want to have that little slash over here. Then I will bring in my ribbon scissors, because you just have to keep a pair that's pretty nice to cut your ribbons. And I'm going to try to get this across, like right at the edge of this mint macaron layer. Now let's take a look here. And we'll probably have to put our dimensionals right here and right here. And I think for this job, I want to, let's put the aw thanks right there like that on that line on our surface so I can see kind of where it is. I think I want to do the minis rather than the full, and that will kind of allow me to put them on each side a little bit better. And that leaves a larger area in the center for that ribbon to go through, because it's just not, you wouldn't want to put this on top, sitting on top of that ribbon. Now circles are a little bit more forgiving, so I'm not too worried about putting glue on it. I just will take a look at it, make sure that script is straight. Super cute. I've brought in some different matte dots. First, I kind of, since we introduced that black ink, it might be kind of fun to see about putting these on the wheels. I think that's kind of fun. We'll just do that on the two that we've paper pieced. Just as a little different design element. Well, that's fun. And I think I would like some just as a decorative element, but I don't necessarily want the black ones. So let's put some white ones. I feel like we need a little bit of something on our tag. Move this one. Want to kind of keep a triangular shape there, but I think that just kind of fills in a little bit of that white space. Let's move this one. Sometimes the hardest part, what you think is going to be the easiest part, ends up being the most difficult of decisions. Or when you overthink things. I think that this is fun, but yet I think that it's very pretty and I won't say elegant, but it's very classy and traditional in this look. I like that. Of course, I will decorate the inside of this card off camera since it has a mint macaron card base. It'll need a white liner on the inside. I want to show you my practice. I kind of used a different green out of that same paper pack, the same DSP. It has a little bit, some of the garden green kind of coming into it, but I thought that that was pretty too. And I have two other cards for you that are very different. And these two cards that I have for you use that Sunshine and Rainbows paper that is also a Sale-A-Bration item. And it's just super fun. I just used this stamp, the bus, but then I cut the balloons. I stamped it and cut just the balloons free and put it on here as like a birthday drive-by. And this ended up getting a smudge on it, or it had a flaw in it. So I just put another square or another piece of designer series paper. Don't let your hard work go to waste. Try very hard to always salvage a card, and a lot of times it ends up being a happy accident. And I love how this card turned out. So fun. This next card is a square card, but even though it's a square card, it still fits in our regular envelope. So for mailing, that is not an issue. So I just took the little sports car. I stamped and colored in one of our awesome otters, which is also a Sale-A-Bration item. I have him driving the car, wearing his party hat. He's got some balloons blowing in the wind. And I used that Sunshine and Rainbows paper as well. I guess I need to put a little something on the inside of that card, but I thought he was kind of cute and fun as well. Here are each of my cards today, and I like each one of them. They are all very, very different. Adult birthday, maybe a children's birthday drive-by, but that wouldn't necessarily, I know a lot of friends who love animals and love anything whimsical like that, so that really isn't limited to that. And then a more classic or traditional card that is made with the bug with the gifts on top. This could be used at Christmas, birthdays, showers, you know, all sorts of occasions. I just can see you getting a lot of use, and especially if you are stamping with young people, with children, with teens and tweens, they will love this set. These have come back. We think of these as old as being in our day, but the kids especially love the bus. They really do. And so if you have a little bit extra Sale-A-Bration, maybe you've already gotten everything and you have the chance to get an additional one of these, get an additional one and stamp with someone young that you love. As always, remember to be kind, send a card, and do something creative. Bye-bye.